All right, guys, so I'm going to show you guys how to use a nebulizer. When you have a puppy that has maybe congestion, isn't feeling that well, you can use a nebulizer. So I'm going to show you guys how to quickly and easily use one because we have a puppy that has a little bit of congestion. So I'm going to just take you through steps so you can use it at home and hopefully help the puppy with whatever kind of congestion, mucus, upper respiratory the puppy may have. All right, stay tuned. You're not gonna want to miss this episode of Breeders Hacks.
I got you right now. What's going on, Bully fam?
What's going on, Bully fam? It's your boy, the educator, the scientist, Mr. Double Muscle Line Bulls, bringing you another episode of Breeders Hacks. So real quick, we have a puppy here that has a little bit of congestion. I've never shot an episode on how to use a nebulizer. So that is one humongous thing that you'll want to use when it comes to puppies that have congestion, upper respiratories, things like that. The same way you use it as a human, you would use it for puppies. And you can usually buy a nebulizer easily online. You can buy one from us if you contact us directly, we'll sell you one. But this is just a regular nebulizer, right? And I'm gonna show you guys how to use it for your puppies. This has never been used before. So here's your nebulizer, right? So basically this is the machine, and don't confuse this with the oxygen machine. So basically what this nebulizer does is it'll help give, whether it's medication, whether it's saline, whatever the case it may be, to the puppy, right? So we're taking out all of our tubing, so on and so forth. So the first thing that you should have is your nebulizer, and we're gonna have to plug this in. The next thing that you're gonna wanna have is one of the pieces of tubing that it comes with. It should be this right here, actually. So this is the tubing, and now this long piece of tubing, there's gonna be a nipple right on the top of this, right? So all you're gonna do is just put your tubing right on top of that nipple, just like that, right? So then the next thing that you do is you'll have the other end of the hose. So now the other end of the hose is going to connect to something that looks like this, right? And essentially what this is, this little, I guess you could say this little like capsule looking thing, this little piece of a tube looking thing, what this is this is actually where your medication is going to be stored. That's why it has like all the lines on it, 6 cc's, 4 cc's, 1 cc, so on and so forth. This hose connects to the end of your little container here, and this is where your medication goes. At this point, what you would do on the top of this, you'll have like a T that you can usually use with a mouthpiece. Sometimes it'll also come with like a mask. You could also use a mask as well. It all depends on the nebulizer that you have. So you can either use one or the other. You can either use like this T-looking thing that basically goes on top like this, and then the mouthpiece connects like that, and you breathe like that for the nebulizer. That's what it would be used for humans. So the other option is connecting it to the mouthpiece. You're still gonna need the T, but now you can connect it to a mask. So I like the mask, that's just my preference. And generally if I have a puppy like this, I'll probably just get the strings out of the way. But this is the configuration essentially. It's the nebulizer, connects to a hose, which connects to your vial that contains the medicine, that then connects to your T, right? Which then will connect to whatever mouthpiece you're using. So once you have like your final configuration, this is essentially how it's set up. So now a nebulizer is designed not to give a puppy oxygen, and people confuse that. Oxygen is a completely different machine, and is actually super, super, super important and helpful, and I'll do another episode on this, but right now this is a nebulizer. So nebulizer, what it's meant to do is give medication via inhaling and breathing. So you can use medication, and there's medications like albuterol and things like that, or you can use simple saline. Like I said, you usually can buy a nebulizer at like your local Walmart or CVS, or you can hit us up at breedershacks.com. And saline you can usually just get, at your local CVS, Walmart, and it's just saline. It helps a little bit with like the inflammation when breathing. So they sell these for kids. You can buy it for your puppies, right? So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is, now that we have our configuration set up, we're gonna go ahead now and plug in the machine, and I'm gonna show you guys how to use it real quick. So now that we have our nebulizer plugged in, all you're gonna do is, like I told you guys, we have this capsule here, and it's like a twist lock. So we twist and unlock. And now all you're gonna essentially do is take one of your vials of saline. And when you're dealing with a puppy that has like an upper respiratory, like a puppy that has trouble breathing, has mucus, things like that, you'll probably wanna do like saline treatments 2 to 3 times a day. So all you're gonna do is take your saline like this and pour it right into this vial here. And usually you're gonna go like to the max, which is like 6. It'll show the max line on it. So now all we'll do is bring this down, twist so it's locked, and now we have our saline in here, which is gonna help with breathing and inflammation in the lungs. And all we do now is literally, there's a switch somewhere here, flip the switch, and then we hold the mask in front of the puppy and allow the puppy to get the treatment. So now that we have the medication in our nebulizer, right, because this is what contains it, right? You never want to pour any kind of liquid or anything into the nebulizer itself. But once we have it in our container here, and once we have our hose connected to our actual mask, the only thing is that I'm actually missing the piece that connects it from this directly to this. So what we need to do is when we put the mask on the puppy, I just got to cover this opening right here essentially. Normally for a human there would be like a mouthpiece here or something like that, but for me all I'm going to do is just cover the front of it. So I just cover the front like this, grab the mask, and now we're ready to go ahead and give the treatment. So I'm going to turn on the machine. There we go, perfect. I didn't have it tight enough, but you see all that smoke coming out? So that's the saline. So we're gonna go ahead now and hold that in front of the puppy like this and just allow the puppy to breathe it in. That's essentially all I do. And I try not to force the puppy too much because they're gonna lose interest. Some really, really weak puppies will definitely just sit there for you. But I like to do it like this. And I'll just hold the puppy in front of it. So basically, we'll let the nebulizer run. I'll probably do it from anywhere between 3 to 6 minutes. Sometimes you could just let the medication run out. Yet again, when you're dealing with more severe upper respiratories, then what you can do is actually put like an antibiotic or a steroid in here, like albuterol, things like that. But for very mild cases, you can just use saline. And like I said, this is something that you would use for like a kid or anything like that. Essentially, we'll do that for 2 to 3 times a day, maybe for a week until it clears up. But what it really does is tremendously help with breaking up the mucus and allowing the puppy to breathe a little bit more easier. So I just wanted to show you guys essentially, you know, how to use a nebulizer, how to set it up. Wish I had the piece here, but yet again, just covered it. As long as you see that kind of smoke coming out, you already know it's working. And that's essentially it, guys. It's a simple tip and trick that you can use on puppies, adults, for yourself. If you're dealing with congestion and having a hard time breathing, a nebulizer is definitely a must-have. I hope this information was helpful. I hope it was useful. Drop a comment down below and let us know your experience when it comes to dealing with nebulizers and puppies with upper respiratories and so on and so forth. I'll see you guys on the next episode. All right, guys.